This is Lee Rosenbaum, and we're in the America's Presidents Galleries of the National Portrait Gallery. And we're here, of course, for a special occasion, the first day that the new Obama portrait has been hung in this gallery. But it's interesting to see it in the context of the rest of the installation, which has just reopened this past fall after a renovation of these galleries with new carpeting and new lighting and also new labels. Here's the famous, maybe most famous portrait in the place, the iconic Lansdowne portrait of our first president, which has also just been restored, conserved, and returned to view. This is another iconic portrait in the National Portrait Gallery's President's Collection, but this one is rarely on view because it's so fragile as an old photograph that it's very light sensitive. It's Alexander Gardner's cracked plate portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a famous image, the cracked plate being shown right here. He only printed one of these because of the cracked plate. And to me, it was very interesting to see this portrait in the context of the Obama portrait. The same very creased face. This is a world-weary president taken in February 1865, right before his assassination, just 2 months before. He looks world-weary, his hair is graying, his ears are big like Obama's. And you get the feeling that the weight of the world is in that face. And maybe there's something of that in Wiley's Obama portrait, and it makes me wonder if he actually had this in mind. It wouldn't be hard to imagine. He certainly relied on classical images of a more grandiose kind for some of his portraits. One of the other innovations here in the reinstallation and renovation was the introduction of these section signs with information about the period in which all of these portraits belong. There are separate sections and separate sectional wall texts. And the other thing they've done is do bilingual text. Everything is in English and Spanish. So all of this is a welcome improvement over the already fine American Presidents Galleries. Here we've got Teddy Roosevelt. The other change in the presentation here throughout the galleries is a little plaque telling you which president we're looking at and the years that he served. So now we've come to the ends of the chronological sequence of the presidents. As you can see, the most recent chief executives in our country, except for one. And for that president, our most recent ex-president, we have to go around to the other side of this wall. There's a big press scrum here, so let's move back to talk about this. What bothers me is that the Obama portrait, to me, seems to be marginalized. He's the backside of President Reagan, basically. And you have to go around this wall to even find him. Most people will approach these galleries from George Washington, and they'll have to say, "Where's President Obama?" Oh, right, there he is. The one good thing about President Obama's placement here, even though he seems to me to be kind of put behind the Reagan wall and out of view to people walking into that last president's gallery, is that he is looking directly at another exhibition that starts here, The Struggle for Justice. And the former community organizer turned advocate for the less fortunate certainly has a certain synergy with the theme of this exhibition. So to that extent, the placement makes some degree of sense. And here we go. Public is in, and the line is huge.
Is that okay?
Here's one person who's getting close. hi, who am I speaking to?
I'm B. Maddox.
Okay, and would you like to chime in?
I'm Nathan Taylor.
Okay, so you just got a chance, one of the first people of the public to see the Obama portrait at the National Portrait Gallery. What did you think?
I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Seeing it on TV did no justice.
Of course.
I mean, the details of Obama down to his nose, super fantastic. I was downstairs. I got to see Michelle's from afar.
And?
But it didn't look quite as like her as Obama does.
Yeah, not as good a
That gentleman
resemblance.
got down to the nose, the
Yeah.
crick in his nose, so he did an excellent job.
Why only from afar? You weren't able to get
It was
close
so
up?
crowded.
Oh,
See,
okay.
it's not as much space downstairs
Yeah.
because So
And
I'm going to
people-
go back though.
Okay.
But I have access. I work at the Smithsonian, so I'm going to come back when the museum is closed.
Cool.
And I can look at it for myself personally.
And your thoughts about it?
It's very nice and colorful, the pictures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you like them?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like
You work for the Smithsonian as well, I
Yeah.
see. Okay.